everybody, welcome into the KXAN Live studios. This is Billy Gates, and this is our high school football preview for the KBVO Game of the Week. Let's get right to it. With me is KXAN Sports Director Roger Wallace. He will be calling the game tonight out at Cedar Ridge, featuring Bowie and Vista Ridge, or out at Cedar Park, featuring Bowie and Vista Ridge.
A lot of ridges, a lot of cedars.
So many ridges, so many cedars in this place. Anyway, both teams come into the matchup, Roger, undefeated. They both win their season openers. As you're prepping for this game, I mean, what kind of stood out to you about either squad?
Well, Vista Ridge stands out because of what they did to Killeen last week after falling behind 21-0. Killeen had, it's just mind-boggling, had 322 yards passing in the first half, 8 total yards of offense in the second half, and Vista Ridge wins 31-21, so they score 31 unanswered. Bowie, just a solid win over Maynard. They put up 60 points. It's a program that is a traditional power, especially AISD in Austin. Of course, they're always in that tough district with Westlake and Lake Travis. A little down year last year, but they still made the playoffs at 4-6. Lost in the first round to McNeil, gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter. So just different ways of winning. It'll be interesting to see week 2. And, you know, for Vista Ridge, this is it. They start district play next week. It's one of those 9-team districts. Bowie's got 4 non-district games, so they have a little more time to kind of figure things out.
Yeah, Vista Ridge's district got bigger, and then Bowie's got smaller with Buda Johnson and Anderson moving out of the district. So interesting thing looking through the stats from that Bowie game. Quarterback Cruz Tello completes 7 passes, and 5 of them went to the end zone. That's quite a night.
And a pick. So 6 were caught, or 8 were caught rather. 5 touchdowns. He's the younger brother of Diego Tello, who's a former Bowie quarterback now at Trinity Valley Community College in East Texas. He started at UTSA. So, yeah, not big numbers really offensively for scoring 60. They kind of do it in a lot of different ways. But Jeff Abels, their longtime head coach, really likes the way he's developed. And, Bowie used to be known for really big offensive lines. That's not really been the case lately, but he said he does like the fact that they've got a pretty big offensive line in front of Tello. So, they'll try to establish themselves. They've been a little banged up in the running game. They lost this one in overtime last year to Vista Ridge, 21-14. So should be an interesting matchup out at Gupton Stadium.
Yeah, you have to think Bowie competes, like we were saying earlier, competes for that 4th spot there in District 26, along with, Lake Travis and Westlake and Dripping Springs, presumably the top 3, but hey, who knows? Stranger things have happened. But got to kind of think Bowie's in that mix to get into the playoffs again.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And Vista Ridge, just by virtue of a bigger district, those 4 spots are tougher. They did make the playoffs last year. They won 7 games in the regular season, went 7-3, and lost to Dripping Springs in the bi-district round there. So, yeah, it's a potential. Probably not likely. Bowie tends to, get into D1, but maybe not. So it's a potential first-round playoff matchup in bi-district, but with enrollments and stuff, you have to start doing too much math here in week 2 for me to start projecting that kind of stuff.
We don't do math here.
Not in September.
No, we let other people take care of the math. So Thursday night, got a pretty light slate of games here. Obviously, we have our game on KBVO tonight out at Gupton Stadium. Westwood takes on Austin High at House Park, 7:30. Aikens is at Cedar Creek. Either one of those schools, that's going to be their first win in a very long time out of Memorial Stadium in Bastrop. That's also at 7:30. McNeil's at Lake Belton. Leander's at Hendrickson at the field at the Capitol P. Pflugerville's at Hayes. And Maynard is at Harker Heights to kind of round out Thursday's schedule. Looking ahead to Friday, we, of course, have the Westlake San Benito game on KXAN.com. That'll be our live stream game on Friday. Didn't have one last week because Westlake played on Thursday and they were on TV. So San Benito is a team from the Rio Grande Valley who's perennial playoff team. I believe Westlake played them either last year or 2 years ago in the playoffs and thumped them pretty good.
Yeah, and one of San Benito's best players moved to Austin, and we saw him on Friday night playing for the Thursday night rather, playing for the McCallum Knights. But Westlake slow start against Prosper, down 1 at the half last week up in Belton, and then they put the pedal to the metal. So I don't expect the Chaparrals to have a whole lot of trouble in their home opener on Friday night.
No, ranked number 4 in the Dave Campbell's Texas football 6-day poll. Now it's the regular season poll. It was the preseason poll last week. And as we all know, the polls are just something fun to talk about, right, Roger?
Well, they decided on the field. That's right. Yeah, but it is fun, especially because you have a hard time kind of grasping what goes on around the state. You get locked into your area, but it does give it some perspective. So, yeah, 4th in the state. Vandegrift's the one that kind of surprised me how handily they beat Dripping Springs. And they've got another good one tomorrow, kind of that one of those backyard brawls, one of those non-district games, if you will, as they take on Cedar Park tomorrow night.
Yeah. No, good week 2 of football coming up. And essentially, we didn't get to stream on Monday because of Labor Day. I was out. Roger might have been here, but I wasn't.
I just sat in this chair waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure that's exactly what you did. Let's talk a little bit of Horns football. A little game this weekend for the Horns against the defending CFP champs, the Michigan Wolverines, up in Ann Arbor, Michigan. 11 a.m. from the Big House. Roger, you're headed up there Friday. I mean, this is as big as regular season game as Texas has had in a while.
It's why they play the games
That's
that they
true.
do. No, you're right.
I mean, you go to Texas.
Alabama was big last year, but they played them the year before, and word had already gotten out that they're going to be conference rivals. So you're right. When you look at this one, you kind of go back to 2005 at Ohio State when you're thinking of non-conference games, and the fact that they're playing for just the second time ever. The only other time was the Rose Bowl, 2004-05 season when Texas won on the last-second field goal. Yeah, Michigan does not look like they did when they beat up on Washington at NRG Stadium to win the national title. But as Sark says, they lost 13 in the draft. Texas lost 11. Now, their 13 are a little different, primarily the quarterback spot, where they've got the former walk-on Davis Warren, and Texas has a guy that obviously they feel really good going on the road.
I'd say so.
With Quinn Ewers. So, but again, I know everybody's talking about the line and Texas heavy favorite and things like that, but you just don't know what's going to happen, how they're going to react if some things start going bad on Saturday.
You get in front of 110,000 screaming maize and blue fans, and things could go a little sideways in a hurry. In case things get wacky up there.
Yeah, and they're big and strong in the middle, and Texas offensive line, especially in the interior, because they have Miles Graham's an All-American defensive tackle. They're going to be tested. They've got one of the best corners in college football. Offensively, they didn't do a whole lot against Fresno. They needed that pick six from Will Johnson. They were sitting on 23, and Fresno was in the red zone trying to make it 23-20. So offensively, but you got to figure they're going to get better, show more. I don't think Texas showed, especially on defense. They weren't very exotic on defense. So,
why should they?
Yeah, week 1 was a cat and mouse. Yeah. Michigan's got Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator. Sark coached with him 20 years ago in Oakland, but he had a great reputation in the NFL. It should be incredible. Be incredible. It's going to be cool. It's supposed to be sunny, but talking 40s and 50s, maybe low
brisk.
60s. Yeah, so
a nice brisk early morning football game.
Kind of everything you would want on a Saturday, and the team that walks out with a loss, far from over for their season. So, the 12-team playoff helps. Even if there wasn't a 12-team playoff, week 2, as we saw with Alabama, is not going to kill you.
Right, and, throughout the week when we were talking with Sarkisian at different media availabilities, he even said that he loves this matchup even more because of the 12-team playoff, because no matter the outcome of this game, that's not going to just completely wreck your season as far as postseason goes. So.
Yeah, margin for error is much greater. Now, Florida State, that's what everybody was saying when they were coming home from Ireland, and then they go and get smacked again against Boston College and forget about playoff. They've got to figure a lot of things out. So, you lose. Obviously, your margin for error goes down, but this would be a huge way to get things rolling. Texas comes home for 3 after that before going to Cotton Bowl. Michigan starts out with 5 home games. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
That's a favorable schedule for the Wolverines. But I guess if you win a title, maybe maybe you're on the phone and be like, hey, listen, like that game week 3, like, can we have it here? And people are like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, they do have to go to USC. They got to go to Columbus. They get Oregon at home. So I believe USC's in Ann Arbor and They have to go to Oregon. Is that right? No, they go to the Oregon's home.
The Oregon's
you know
home
how I
game, I
remember this, Billy? Here's a crazy thing. They charge you for parking, for media parking. But all games are not created equal for media parking, and Oregon's in that top tier.
It's a tiered system.
Yeah, I remember seeing Oregon and Texas. So yeah,
surge pricing.
They get Oregon at home. They travel to USC.
There's surge pricing parking.
Right.
That's
whatever it takes.
Good for them.
Yeah,
good for them. That's absurd. That is ridiculous. Anyway, we're going to end on that little nugget because that's a good thing to end on. We'll have another one of these streams next Monday. It'll be the Horns Report, and then followed by high school football on Thursday. So for Roger Wallace, I'm Billy Gates. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you again very soon.